Welcome to MAKAZANA News. I'm your host, Zach the Mac. Today, which we're not sugarcoating nothing. We're going straight into the heart of the ghettos, into the streets where dreams die young and kids are forced to grow old before their time. See, when you step into the township, into the blocks, you don't just see houses. You see broken windows. You see tired mothers. You see fathers drowning in unemployment. And right there, in the middle of it all, are the youth, hungry, angry, hopeless. Let me tell you something real. Bob Marley said it best. A hungry man is an angry mob. And that ain't just a quote. It's a psychological fact. Poverty with no hope always leads to crime. Always. Now picture this. 13-year-old boy, let's call him Sifo. He wakes up in a one-room shack, no food in the pot, school shoes with holes at the bottom. His mother? She's doing the best she can, selling fruit on the corner. His father? Long gone, or maybe sitting at home drunk because the system broke him years ago. Sifo goes to school hungry. He can't focus. His stomach is louder than his teacher's voice. He feels invisible. And right outside that school gate, the gangsters are waiting. They see his hunger. They see his pain. And they offer him bread. But the price is his soul. They say, here's a plate of food. Here's money in your pocket, but roll with us. And Sifo, he surrenders, not because he's evil, but because poverty trapped him. This is the reality of the ghetto. When there's no opportunity, no jobs, no dreams, gangsterism becomes the only option. Not because these kids want it, but because they're cornered by a system that's already failed them. And it's not just Sifo, it's the young girls too, 15, 16, trading their innocence just to survive. Some end up in abusive relationships with older men because those men put food on the table. Others get lost in drugs because it numbs the pain of hopelessness. Let me be clear. This is not about blaming the youth. This is about exposing the truth. Because poverty doesn't just starve the body, it starves the mind. It starves the soul. It kills hope. And when hope dies, crime is born. Psychologists will tell you a person without hope is dangerous, not because they want to be, but because they feel they have nothing left to lose. Listen to this, boys, blaming the government about rehabilitation, and after that they don't help them to get jobs and stay away from the streets and the gangs. But no hope for them because when enemies comes, they don't say you're rehabilitated, they kill you. So going back to the gang is the only solution because when you're alone, it's easy to be a victim. So protection, food, and fame is easy to get if you're a gangster. Please listen.
So peace ila bateng sharp MAKAZANA police station ba la re tsa camp ke la ya camping sharp ba mo ka motivate ke batho ba serious ka life sharp ke yentse ntho ka khutla ma go khutleng wa ka aka khona bona change because batho ba zanga ba attend na go show ba tlo mo re dulang ba bona re phela jwang o etsahala ndaleng e tse qala ha obvious re phela ha le poqo taba pele ba ha ba re semsebetsi re dutse ha ya re etse nix.
And that's why the ghettos burn. That's why the streets bleed. So today I'm sounding the alarm. Until we deal with poverty, until we create jobs, until we give our young people something to believe in, gangsterism will keep rising. Drugs will keep spreading and funerals will keep multiplying.
Qatar has 17 Qatar. Ile bra ba ga imona yo kapa yo ila khalwe. Yo kapa ila khalwe. Kapa ila khalwe tla kapa ofele bra ba tla kapa ofele. Wa go gita tla kapa ofele ja.
Remember this. When you see a young boy with a gun or a young girl hooked on drugs, don't just see a criminal. See the hunger, see the poverty, see the hopelessness that pushed them there. Because Bob Marley was right. A hungry man is an angry mob. And in the ghettos, our children are hungry, not just for food, but for hope, for opportunity, for love, for a chance at life. This is MAKAZANA News. I'm Zach the Mac, and I'll keep telling it like it is. Raw, unfiltered, straight from the streets. until the world listens. We're digging deeper. Last time we spoke about how poverty is the mother of crime. Today, I'm showing you what that really looks like. Not just my words, but the sounds and voices from the ghetto itself. Because out here, every day, a new headline is written in blood. Let's start with this. A robbery that happened just last week in the township. Watch and listen carefully. So family, I am very sorry that the video has no sound because of technical failures. What we have is only visual. You hear that? That's not Hollywood. That's not Netflix. That's real life. A mother robbed on her way back from work, her last 200 rand stolen. Now you might ask, why would young boys do this? Why risk jail for a phone? Let me break it down. It's survival. When you're hungry, when your little sister cries because she hasn't eaten, that phone becomes more than a phone. It becomes bread. It becomes rent. It becomes hope. But here's the twist. That hope is short-lived because the same 200 rand that buys bread today buys bullets tomorrow. Let me take you to another event, a gang initiation, a young boy, only 14 years old, being forced to prove himself. Listen to this.
My initiation meant to kill someone because if I don't do that, I don't get part of the gang. So I did a lot of things, even in prison.
So that initiation thing is true.
Yeah, you have to.
What type of initiations are we dealing with?
It's all about, as I said, it's all about, number one, if he's not willing to take a life,
He's not
strong enough to be part of us.
Ay, ay.
Because he will be faced with situations. Welcome will be challenged, where he has to defend the gang. And defending the gang means having to kill.
Dude.
So if he cannot kill indiscriminately, because you know what they do for the initiation? It's a random person.
Some old toppy that's coming from where?
Old toppy, young woman, anybody that is just, it's a random person.
Oh, no.
And the reason why it's a random person is you don't have any relationship with this person. And you said, walk up, pull the trigger, and show us.
And then you get a high five.
And then you get a high five, you get praises. Because you've done something that now connects you to them. Because how do you sit with a den of killers?
That's a child, not even in high school yet, being beaten into a gang. That sound you just heard, that's how the ghetto swallows its children. Not with guns at first, but with acceptance. These kids don't join gangs because they're evil. They join because the gang gives them something the system didn't. Belonging, respect, family. But let's be real, that family always comes at a deadly price. You either end up in jail or in a coffin. Let me close with this final clip. This is a voice recording from a grandmother raising her grandchildren alone after her daughter was killed in a tavern shooting.
Unabantwana abayi-2 and then una-26 unomntwana ona-7 months unomntwana oyenza 6 years.
Amaphoyisa wona nomfundi uthini?
Amaphoyisa mane wathi size kusasa sizoconfirm ukuthi nguye yena lona wasekhaya na. So sizoya kusasa thina esifamily siyobona le ukuthi vele nguye lo wasekhaya na. Mamncane namoshi.
Ngiyaxolisa nomfundo, sibonga isikhathi sakho.
You feel that pain? That's the sound of a broken society, a grandmother raising kids who lost their mother to the streets. That's the cycle. Poverty breeds hopelessness. Hopelessness breeds crime. And crime keeps stealing our future. But hear me when I say this. It doesn't have to stay like this. If we fight for laws, if we invest in education, if we create opportunities for the youth, then maybe, just maybe, we can break this cycle. Because the truth is simple. When a child has hope, he doesn't need a gun. When a girl has dreams, she doesn't need to sell her body. And when a community has opportunity, it doesn't have to bury its children. This boy was stabbed and hacked to death by a group of a gang in broad daylight, claiming he's the member of another gang. This horrifying act was watched by hundreds of people, and no one dares to help him because they will face the same fate. Even if they know you called the police, your life and your family's lives is in danger. Even if you call the police, they don't come right away. They always come after someone is killed. And you will see the killers of your kid walking around the streets freely when they should be in jail. Those are the words of an old woman in tears.
ne ke tlo re a created mesebetsi wa nthola le ding no ha ona re ke nka ga create mesebetsi ubane ntwana tse flopang ke ntwana tse nyane ke ntwana tse le goreng ntse di student wa nthola le ding tamile o tshongeng a etseng ba ne di library wa nthola le ding e brawa o ba e mona ska ne ke tsho ke go bana di dipark ntšha wa nthola le ding e brawa setting tamile ba ne di library e baton north di tavern di bangata jaaka yone senyang e baton north ntšha tamile le library di tavern di bangata ntšha ka sheba strata se o ya kwa tavern di 8 kgeke iwa e mona a ona library a ona ne wa bona na eding ke e mona ke ka ho mfutho nthola le ngwana o bula sentse tseba re mona iso ka pshapa yo ntatu wa ka yo ntate molo wa ka mmalo ka pomalo mo ka o tshwara pang go betsa pangudi wa bona na eding ngwana mfutho ke le ha bonolo.
This has been MAKAZANA News. I'm Zach the Mac, and I'll keep showing you the streets, not to glorify them, but to wake us all up. Until next time, stay alert, stay aware, and most importantly, stay hopeful. Peace.